That's beautiful. Thank you for the reminder that we are enough. For that's the truth of who we are and how we are to demonstrate our wholeness and our God-likeness. This afternoon at 4, correct, Michelle? Michelle will be starting her group on the gifts of imperfection. And it's funny to think in terms of imperfection being a gift, isn't it? But what we've seen demonstrated here this morning is things didn't go perfectly. Did anyone mind? No. We love each other even more when we're vulnerable enough to stand there before each other in however it shows up. So let's take a look at these affirmations of Brene Brown's. I am enough to be worthy versus shame. I've had enough. Boundaries versus one-upping and comparison. Showing up, taking risks, and letting myself be seen is enough. It is enough to be present. That's all you have to do in life is be present. Be present. What does shame do for us? Shuts us down, doesn't it? It closes us off. It doesn't allow presence to shine through us. So engagement versus disengagement. Brene Brown's really cute with her stories in the book. Those of you, how many of you are reading the book? Great. How many of you did your homework? Maria, you are an overachiever. Rosie, didn't you do yours? Okay, good. I'm just checking. And there's a sheet for this week too, so you can read along with this message of worthiness. That's at the root of most of our problems. We love to share all the good we are, don't we? But the other side of that is that there are dark emotions within us too. And when we deny those dark emotions, when we don't accept them, when we push them away, when we try and push through whatever challenge we're experiencing, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because that is underneath all the good that we are, the shadow, rises up when we least expect it. So this week on Facebook I posted, what do you do when you're backed into a corner? What do you do when you're backed into a corner? Fight back. Yeah, what else? Shut down. What else? Get angry. Push back. What else? Excuse me? Frightened. Yeah, it's scary, isn't it? When we're backed into a corner. So when we're backed into a corner, believe it or not, it's a good place to look at what we're afraid to look at within us. You know, I still go back to my story of my daughter Heather when she was 13 and just giving me a run for my money. Anybody have a 13-year-old like that? Yeah. Boy, yes, exactly. And I remember standing in the living room and just, you know, that one. And then the, oh my God, what's going to happen to you if you continue on taking these risks? And she said to me in a very calm voice, Mom, what do you do when you're backed into a corner? I said, well, I come out swinging. And she said, so don't back me into a corner because you're not going to get the response you want. Darn it. That was wisdom coming through. And I had to burst out laughing. Because we tend to take responsibility for other people's feelings, right? And especially in unity. You know, God is love, we are love, I love you. The only time that really works is when you do. When that's an authentic feeling you're feeling. When you can turn to somebody and say, what I acknowledge most about you is the peace coming forth from you. That laughter, that smile. But oftentimes we put the smile on, forgive the expression, crud. You know what I'm talking about. When we're angry. No, I'm not angry. Why is everyone afraid of you? What's going on here? No, I'm not sad. No, not me. I know I'm a child of God and worthy of all things good. No, there's nothing wrong with my leg. I tried to sit down, but I just gotta move. I'm just trying to not bounce around on my knee because the knee doesn't take the bouncing the same way it did when I was younger and had some cartilage. You know what I'm talking about. So we all have things we're ashamed of. And we all have things we feel guilty about. Does anyone know the difference between guilt and shame?
Behavior is bad.
Exactly. Score one. So what he just said is that guilt is you did something that you acknowledge is bad. And shame is, I am bad. And therefore, I did this. So shame is a sign to us all that there's more looking to do inside. Are we ever through with this journey of self-awareness? Do we ever get to be done? No. And the older I get, the more I realize, I don't know, but I sure love the mystery of wondering what's next. You know what I'm saying? Does my microphone work? You know, all those kinds of things. Does that throw me off my intention to be present to you? Heart wide open and courageous enough to keep moving. So Brene Brown says in the first chapter, the gifts of imperfection are courage, which is found where? In your heart. Your heart will always supply you with the courage. Your mind holds on to the fear. And your body responds to whatever the deeply felt emotion is. So doesn't matter what we say if we don't feel it in our body carries our emotions for a lifetime unless we let them go. How do we let them go? Well, she says rather than pushing through, we dig in. And the first dig is to develop the habits of prayer and meditation and being intentional with your action. Jesus said the greatest commandment is you should love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your spirit, and with your strength. So it's not for the faint-hearted that we love. And you love your neighbor as yourself. Don't you find yourself kind of hard to love? Boy, my mind just goes 1,000 miles a minute. How can you stand there and talk to people about prayer? You can't even demonstrate healing. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Healing's always happening. Why would I say I was less than? But I do need support. And I got to tell you, you're the most supportive community I've ever been in my life. I mean that. It's amazing how supportive you are. So whatever's going on that you think should change, let it go. Let it go. Let the person find their own answer within themselves. Let them take responsibility for their life, because they're the one living it. I mean, you can mirror back to them, but you don't need to change them or fix them. Or the other one, you know the one, that C word? Control them. You know, I'd love it if I was in control, Empress of the universe, with my Harry Potter wand, magically saying the words that would heal everything, heal everyone, let souls open wide, let people really understand that they are worthy of so much love. In fact, worthy of so much love that they're God an expression of love. You know, we're Godding each other with every word that we speak, with every song that we sing, with every action we take. We're Godding each other. Are we always perfect? No. When we're not perfect, what do we make it mean? Something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with me. I don't get invited to that party. There must be something wrong with me. What if there's just something to learn about ourselves? What if at the core of our being there is nothing wrong, but in what we're afraid of, what we fear, that false evidence appearing real, makes it seem as if our intention is wrong. Now, what do you think Brene Brown would say about when you recognize that maybe you have made a mistake? What did Jesus say? Remember, if you make a mistake, forgive it, just don't do it again. But learn from it. Don't do it again. Forgive yourself. The way through the digging down through that which we do not want to face, and we all have stuff we don't want to face, right? Anyone perfect here? Nobody's ascending. But I will tell you, you are a great loving community who shows up for one another in a multitude of ways. How was Agape yesterday? How many were there? Stand up, you guys. Do you see these people doing anything else around the church? Yeah, ton of stuff. So I'm going to invite you to share your love by coming together into community and making this place even more beautiful than it is. Sorry, I need a drink of water. So this afternoon we're going to have lunch and an opportunity to play bingo and a raffle and have fun with each other. So it's not just all about prayer and meditation. It's also about playing together. You know, Olga and I, when we were up here, realized that in the laughter, we feel the joy of the Lord. You know, we're willing, no matter what, to stand up and make fools of ourselves, aren't we, Olga? Here we are. We're all in. We're all in. So how about you? Are you all in? Yes. For sure? Yes. Yes, you are. I know that. So we're not going to shit on ourselves anymore. Boy, somebody looked up. Yes, I said should. What should I do in this situation? And if you go to should, what you're immediately going to is a false persona. You're going to, not the truth of who you are, your authentic self, but you're going to who you play to be. I'm too spiritual for my church. Too spiritual for my church. Too spiritual. You know those. The one-upmanship. Where does that come from? Inflated ego? Could be. Or the other thing it could be is terrible insecurity. Terrible insecurity. That somehow we have to pretend that we're better than one another. So it's really important that we wake up to ourselves and how we're behaving. You know, compassion has some qualities about it that I think in New Thought we like to avoid. Accountability for our behavior. Oh, don't say that, Carla. Shh. No, we are accountable for our behavior. And if we love each other enough, we'll let each other know what we're seeing that really is unacceptable, won't we? Now that doesn't mean you get to run around and tell everybody what you think about them. But if you deeply care about another soul, you will speak to them and ask how you can support them. Because we're to love in that way, in a compassionate way. And Jesus was really good about boundaries. You know, I was looking through the Bible a lot yesterday about all the different examples of Jesus setting boundaries. He didn't let people get away with stuff, did he? Do you want to get better? Pick up that bed and walk. You know, you have to do it. But he didn't say it like I said it. I'm sure. I'm sure he was much more holy than that. But the fact of the matter is, we are responsible for everything that's going on in our life right now. Everything that's going on. Everything that's going on in our church. We collectively are responsible for it. It's our consciousness that is lifting us up, hopefully, but lifting us up authentically. And when we're lifted up authentically, we get vulnerable. And we say, I could have done it differently. So when you recognize you could have done it differently, it's important that you tell someone you trust, not somebody who's going to drive a stake through your heart. You know what I mean? Even if their intention is good, somehow you feel more wounded when you walk away. But tell somebody who loves you for all that you are, for your gifts and for your mistakes. Tell somebody, and you name the quality. I feel ashamed because of this behavior here. I feel it. And if you say it to somebody who you trust, who loves you without conditions, you'll hear yourself say those words, and it'll be gone. And then go forth and don't do the same thing again. It's really not very smart, is it? It's kind of crazy. Isn't it funny how we repeat behaviors and patterns that really don't work for us? What do we do when we want to numb out? Does anybody want to numb out? Let's get real. Yeah, we do. We do. This is a busy, wildly negative world we're in right now. We're inundated all the time with complaints and mistakes and pointing fingers and wanting to disconnect from the rat race. You know what I mean. So I have my favorite shows I watch. I can watch Lifetime Movie Channel all Sunday afternoon. Just numb out. I can reach for something sweet when I'm upset. And I can choose to take a drug so I don't feel my pain, or so I numb myself out. When we look at our patterns of behavior, when you absolutely need to have a drink, that's a sign that something's wonky. It's not a sign you're a bad person. It's not a sign of that. It's a sign you need some support, some help, some more love in your life. Tell it to yourself, I need help. I can't do this alone. Do I need any instructions, how-tos on losing weight at my age? I've done them all. Obviously not perfectly. But I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm willing to choose again what I'm going to put into my body out of a feeling of respecting myself. Okay, I'm going to say this out loud, so you guys are going to hear me say it. If I need a surgery, I will do it. Because I can in this day and age. And guess what? I'm in Florida. The orthopedic surgeons are extraordinary down here. And then I've got your love. So what's... Oh my God. Aren't you right? No snow. Do you know how... Oh my gosh, it was 46 degrees yesterday in Kansas City. Woohoo! I did not post. I'm going to get out of the sun now. But the weather here is perfect. It's perfect for us on our journey, no matter what our age is, to say, I don't know it all. But you know what? I feel better when I hang out with these peeps. I feel better when I take a class. I've heard wonderful things about the 4T class, and I'm looking forward to when I come back to all the stories of prosperity we'll be sharing with one another. But principles work, and they work for everyone. Not just saints, but sinners alike. It doesn't matter. Principles create certainty when we're moving through times of uncertainty. Now, in uncertainty, there's nothing wrong with it. But boy, is it uncomfortable, right? Well, I don't know. We didn't used to do it this way. Oh my gosh. We used to have more opportunities for this, for that. I'm not getting what I need. Well, the thing that you need is for you to give yourself what you need. It's very hard, isn't it, to identify what you need, to name a need. Or maybe it's easy for you. I find it, am I worthy to speak what I need? I don't know. Have I given enough? Should I take this paycheck for what I'm doing, or should I just give myself away? It's a choice on how we go through it. And when we have support, trusted advisors around us, good friends that know how to love all of us, it's a lot more fun. It's easier. So let's choose differently than we've ever chosen before. What would that look like for you? What would it look like? Would you speak to somebody you don't know? Would you smile at a child? Pat a dog? Ask somebody if you can support them in any way, shape, or form. It's not just about giving, because we receive back with that. There is a love that transcends any emotion. The peace of God passes all understanding. We don't understand it all, but we have had experiences of it, haven't we? And when we appreciate and acknowledge and speak to the miracles, they start happening more and more. I don't know about you, but looking for what's wrong might be the easy way to do it, but I'd much rather love all of you as we see what's the wisest way to do it. So thank you all for listening this morning, for being present to one another, for understanding that it takes courage, compassion, and connection to feel loved and belong. I've always said, since Jim Rosemergy invited me down here, that you are my peeps. I feel the connection that's in this room. Don't be shy about it. Invite your friends. Have this back alive again. Not that it isn't alive now, because you can feel the shift. I'm not saying it isn't that you aren't alive, but what I'm saying is we can always give just a little bit more. We can be a little bit kinder and still keep our boundaries. When we keep our boundaries, we are clear about who we are. We are respecting ourselves. Nobody can force us to do anything we don't give them permission to do. That's a hard truth, isn't it, to really look at? But Carla, you don't know what my husband said the other day. No, I don't. No, I don't. But I'll listen to your pain. I'll support you in becoming curious about what you're making it mean. I'll stand with you as you tell the truth. And I'll encourage you with all my heart, with all my soul, and with all my strength to take a new step forward. And that's what we're doing together, beloveds. We're taking the next step forward. Namaste. Now I'm going to throw the band off and actually allow them to musically take us into meditation, which I haven't been doing the last couple of weeks. And I'm going to sit down. Okay, so let us prepare. Prepare. Open up. take a deep breath in and let it go. And again, breathing in deeply and relaxing into this moment. We recognize God is everywhere present. God fills every nook and cranny and crevice and space in our life. Around this world and in the planets, there is a presence and a power that is greater than what's being demonstrated. And within me, there is more to be revealed. Holy Spirit, show me what needs to be healed. Allow me to see what needs to be seen. For me to know and love and serve more. As we sit in the silence, in the stillness, what is it? What is it, Holy Spirit, that needs revealing? God, 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 how I love thee. And the truth is, breathe into it. I am worthy just as I am. I am God in expression. How can I show my light more? How can I risk being vulnerable to break through whatever chain is binding me? And in the vibration of love, all things will be answered. We will know if we stay out of our head and into our heart, our atonement with God. All is revealed. So we move forward into this day accepting that we truly are a blessing, that life is miraculous and curious, that God is an ever constant, ever abundant presence within us and around us. And bringing us back to this time, this space, this moment. We say, let it be my truth. I am